Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the final match of the day and the final match of week number 5 of the Smite Pro League. We're going to be watching Team Dignitas up against Snipe. My name is Drybear, and I'm joined today by Gandhi. How you feeling about this match?
I'm really excited for this one. I think this is going to be a humongous match. Obviously, just looking at the standing, it's going to be big. But on top of that, it's a very even match. Both of these teams, before the bye week, they really started to climb back into it. Dig on an amazing run that they're on. But, looking at Snipe as well, they've gone on a great run as well. So when we looked at it, we were like, okay, but how strong were these runs? And we kind of dissected it. And it was like, oh, well, combat DQ. We had a couple of matches versus Thurst. Snipe had a couple of matches versus Fat Chunks. What's going on here? But in the second half, they've proven that they actually are here to play. So this is going to be big.
Well, things are looking pretty sharp here, but Dignitas and Snipe both have very strong lineups. We're going to see that Freya banned out right away. Not wanting to give that away to Snipe. You've got Geb banned away as well, and Dig has one more ban to make here. The question is, what will it be? Now, they have a lot on the table here. Kukulkan definitely a big focus for Snipe.
Yeah, Kukulkan's going to be humongous here for Snipe. I'll figure out how to say it eventually. I don't believe you that's how you say it. Mercury... still on the table here, and he's going to get banned right away. No shocker there. Mercury, as it stands right now, is still super strong. Even though in the games we've seen him today, he hasn't done well. But I think that's more a player error than it is the god itself.
Well, it's kind of just seeing how he gets implemented in the match. Yeah. And both times he had a pretty poor early game, which really made the biggest difference there. We're going to see the next ban coming out from Snipe here. The question is, what will it be? It's going to be Giannis this time around. Okay. Leaving John Quay available, leaving Nemesis available, leaving Thor available, leaving Athena available, leaving Rom available.
You never want to pick, if Nemesis isn't banned, you never want to pick Jean Quay, because then they're just going to instantly counter you. So you're going to have to leave that open. Looking at this, though, we won't see a Thor. Lassus likes him, but, Lassus has, a really big god pool as well. He's played 9 gods in 12 games that he's played in, so that's huge. But on the other side, Snipe, Jerby's played 8 out of 12. So they both have a lot of variety, and first pick, as it's going to be hovered over here. Oh, yeah, right. Don't you start with me. Okay.
And it's a Thor.
Okay, so it is going to be a Thor.
I figured it would be a Thor. The power of presence it brings to, especially given the fact that Snipe is not always together in the way they play it. They like to go for the individual wins, winning lane farming, and so when they scatter like that, it's easy to allow Thor to do his thing. Across the way, Snipe has some choices to make here. They can definitely go for John Quay Nemesis as a double pick. They can easily grab that up. Kukulkan is available. We know it works very well for Snipe. Now across the way, hasn't really had much propensity to pick up Kukulkan, so maybe not worried about losing him. But then again, it goes into the second banning phase. What will they go with here? Looks like they're going to be hovering on an Apollo here.
Which is good. Apollo very safe. He can push so many waves, and then he can kind of come back into a team fight if he's in his own lane kind of farming up, so that's always big. Rom is also available here, and also Ra, who's going to be hovered over as well. So
I like it.
It could be a Jerby Ra, most likely not. Though. He's seen some success with them, and by that I mean none. He's
it's
actually
hard to say what
Rob.
Kiki's going to play, because Kiki has one of the biggest god pools we've ever seen. He just plays everything
it's true.
At all times, so it's hard to say what he's going to play. We'll see what he picks up here. Across the way, Athena's going to be locked in, and with the fact that Geb is gone means that things are going to be very difficult in the early stage for Snipe, given the fact that they have that enemy Athena taunt, which, it can really taunt up to 5 different people.
Yeah, well, the big thing about Athena as well is, you want her active early as well, and, that's when she's the strongest. So as long as she's being played well, this is going to be very strong for Dignitas here, taking a look here. And that's going to be a Nuwa locked in here. So is that going to be a Jerby Nuwa?
I don't know. And it's weird, right? Because he has this whole thing where he decides, I'm just going to go ahead and say, let's bring it up to the inner girdle, right? He has the power to kind of bring things up and say, look at this. We've got girdle into Nuwa, pop the ultimate and do some damage. But when he lands back on the ground, he doesn't really have the teamfight prowess, right? Because the girdle's down, you don't have purification, means it's hard to save yourself. So Jerby's going to kind of be a little bit locked in for that. Kukulkan banned out by Snipe instead, and then Nemesis by Team Dignitas.
Yeah, so, well, option over here. This is... Dignitas looks really strong already.
They do.
This still Rom's available as well, which is you never want Zapman to have Rom as well. So Snipe might be in a little bit of trouble here, as that's going to be hovering over a Thanatos, which I completely disagree with.
Weekend's feeling good. Wigan's feeling good about that one, and they're going to be kind of pulling that together. We'll see what he plays. And of course, like we mentioned in the last game, is that if you go for that CDR double, ninja tabi with him, that's what causes him to fall off late game. But when you go for the heavy burst penetration thing to us, the one I prefer, it looks really good. Just that one death scythe bringing someone into the grave, and that's really what he's great at. Across the way, Rom's available. You got to lock that one in. Now they need themselves a strong mid. There's a couple things available here. It is Na, so they could go for honestly probably a Vulcan. They could go for, it's a Vulcan. Yep. And then one more selection here for Snipe to see what they want to go with. They need a support.
Yeah, could be. It's one of the fat guys, right? It's either Bacchus or Kumba. And I hope it's Baka. I think Baka adds a little bit more. He has a lot more mobility.
Sure.
And, Intoxicate's just so debilitating. So it is going to be Bacchus here. So this is going to be your team. Now, as everything gets shaken up, we'll go ahead and take a look. This is going to be a Thor jungle, Athena support, Rom, obviously Hunter, Baka solo. And on the other side, Jerby actually playing Raw. So he hasn't seen much success from him in the mid lane. There's going to be a lot of pressure on him to really do as much damage as possible. But fortunately, they are on the chaos side of things.
Well, I think that was looked at, right? And you can see that Tiki or Na is going to be taking that Nuwa away. And I think the fact that you see Nuwa picked on the side of Snipe, and then you see Jerby's there, you got to assume, Jerby's going to take Nuwa mid. And so the fact that they're switching up is great. It allows them to kind of open the space up a bit, mess up with the mind state of Team Dignitas, thinking Jerby's going to be taking this, Ra's going to be going into Kiki, it's going to be easiest for predict, and it kind of separates how things are going to start in the beginning, right? But once they switch, they lock it in, they know where everyone's going. Thanatos going into the jungle. With the way they're built on Dignitas, they may not be super scared about Thanatos, right? If Thanatos lands on Vulcan, he can meatball his feet, knock him away, and move away from that one. Thor's going to be there with a good ultimate as well. It's tough.
This is going to be tough. I'm very interested about the Kiki and Xing matchup. That lane's going to be very, very interesting. Nuwa, very, very safe.
Yes.
Right? She's got the fog. She has a stun as well using her minions. But Baka can just jump hard. He can jump on hard with that.
Yeah, he can. He really can.
Especially with the heavy hammer being 1100 very early. It'll proc.
And it's only going to be for a limited time.
Exactly. Get it in while you can, boys and girls.
The heavy hammer is going to be going to 1350, which means that it's not going to be very easily purchased in the beginning. In fact, you can't really jungle with it because you won't have Hog, you won't have Death's Toll, you won't have Bumbas. It's pretty much only going to be probably a laning assassin item or a support item, or possibly even picked up on their first back rather than picked up in the early game, which means you're going to have no level 1 shenanigans with Thanatos or Bakasura or Nemesis in that kind of weird way. But looking at this, we've got about a minute and a half before the players start to load into the match, and things start to be getting here as we get ready to load that up there. But now we're going to see it. Now there's going to be that. So Bakasura picked up here by Xing in the solo lane. He's had a pretty long stretch, right? Being a jungler for a very long time. Then he moved into, of course, solo now for Team Dignitas. How do you think he's been faring?
I think he's been doing okay. It's always going to be a little bit interesting, right? Take a look at Lassus, right? Lassus went from, a mid laner into a jungle, and fortunately for him, he's just naturally gifted at this game. He always just does well. So it hasn't been bad, but I think Xing's been adapting very, very well, and you can tell just by the record, right? They started off, it was shaky, and now it's everything's kosher.
Well, let's look at the teams to see how they're lining up right now. Of course, first up on the screen, you're going to be seeing a very powerful Team Dignitas on the left side in their bright, vibrant yellow. Lassus, Xing, Dare to Care, Zapman, and Na. You can see that the GPM is highest on the one and only Lassus, and second only by a single GPM point. It's going to be Zapman, 473 and 472 respectively. Looks like a little bit less deaths on the Zapman, a little surprising there. You see Dare to Care, 133 assists, pretty high, and definitely higher than across the way on Weekend with 128, but it's hard to compete with Incontinentia, 27, 38, and 150 there with his assists, taking on the champion's role. We've got Jerby allied Kiki or Na, Weekend, and Incontinentia lined up Snipe.
Well, you see, this is why I think Snipe actually works so well as a team, and so many people underestimate them. Notice the difference in assists between Snipe and Dig. Right? The assists, you can just tell Snipe works better together almost, right? They're all trying to get a piece of the action as well. The only one who doesn't have triple-digit assists is actually Allied. So when you look at that,
who has higher than a Zapman.
Yeah, exactly. So when you look at that, it's this team gels very, very well together. So I think there's a lot of play. I think there's just, some negative connotations in regards to Jerby. I think they have this stigma on him, and he has to break out of it, which, that comes to the player if he wants to rise to the occasion or not.
Well, let's go ahead and see what they're playing today and how well they've been doing with them, or if they've even played them before. Left side of your screen, you're going to see Team Dignitas. Lassus is going to be running Thor in the jungle, 8-2-7 so far with him.
Look at that gold per minute.
Bakasura played by Shing, 4-8-6, but neither have them. Actually, 4 out of the 5 gods on Dignitas they've never lost with before. Ram, Vulcan, Bakasura, and Thor. The only person who has lost with their character is going to be Derek on that Athena, but of course Athena gets played in almost every match as it stands right now. Across the way, you've got Ra, Apollo, Nuwa, Thanatos, and Bacchus.
So only one god is a 50% in this game right now.
Only 2 out of the gods here, out of the 10
don't
people,
have 100%.
have lost.
Yeah, that's nuts.
That's crazy.
Yeah, these it's pretty big comfort picks here. I actually thought Jerby was 0-2. I guess I am I stand corrected here. Yeah, no. He's actually 2-0. So I guess it was reversed. Maybe someone else was.
9-3-22. 22 with that Ra, though. You can see 4-1-12. Kiki are now with that new Wa. And, you know, getting ready to hop into this match, just wondering to yourself, how are they going to be able to play this? Because, you know, we're going to see Thanatos going to the jungle by the weekend. You got to know he's going to go for the heavy hammer.
It's Kiki. Kiki was 0.
Sorry,
continue. I had to figure it out. It was bothering me.
Okay. Well, Heavy Hammer is going to be picked up early here by weekend, I would imagine. He's going to try and get into that early start. Thanatos with Heavy Hammer is so terrifying to deal with.
Yeah, it's tough. Now, taking a look at this player comparison here. Kiki, 62%. Shing, 67. 1.9 KD for Shing. On the other side, Kiki, 2.9. Gold per minute, relatively the same here. Sure. This is going to be a very, very big matchup here. And it's very, very interesting, too. Even when you look at it, Baka can shred through the lane very easily. Kiki, very safe when he does it. Baka has to kind of put himself in a weird position to kind of eat through the wave. But at least with Eat a Minion, he's always going to have that sustain throughout the game.
Well, you can also eat the big minion, right, which is the biggest HP pool. So that's the hardest part about it, is that you can just like grab it, take that Cyclops away, just destroy it, and then all of a sudden the wave is weaker because of it. It also heals him in the process. So here we go. You can see there you go. Heavy Hammer picked up by him. We're also going to see a Heavy Hammer picked up by Shing as well, with 2 healing potions, hoping he picks up that blue buff early on. But of course, Heavy Hammer, Eat Minion allows you to secure the buffs pretty easily in the early stage of the game. As far as this early game goes, I mean, both teams have a pretty significant early game potential.
I love the counter build here out of Kiki. It's not really a counter build. It's more like staying safe. But he went Vampiric Shroud and he went into Sprint too. He knows it's going to be very tough to peel off a Heavy Hammer Baka in lane. So he's saying, in case things get out of hand, I have a get out of jail free card.
Plus he has a stun. He has a good, control, good AoE on the waves. He's able to push up pretty effectively. Jump Party in the mid lane from Dignitas.
I hate
that.
Celebrating.
You don't like jump parties?
No, man. I'm all about being a cold-hearted killer. I think when you go into game, you shouldn't have fun at all. It should be
manslaughter
all business.
Begins with jump parties.
Oh, look. Vulcan might be the most annoying god to deal with early on.
I love him.
You love him?
I love him.
The meatball, his ults.
I just like him. He's a cool dude. His turret's powerful. He's got a good ultimate, a lot of skill involved with using the character, good control, good space, understanding of the game. I just think he's a fantastic person, and I think deep down that you and him would probably be really good friends if you met.
I doubt that. I doubt that. I know very soon if I'm going to like a person or not.
Yeah?
Yeah. That's
you don't like Vulcan?
No.
It's a gift, is it?
Yeah, I think it's a gift.
I don't know.
You can wean out the bad.
Well.
Or what you perceive to be bad.
Well, we saw the King Under the Mountain think that Mr. Bilbo was a bad man, but never has he ever been so wrong before.
Well, Bilbo actually does get corrupted. So technically, he's kind of a bad man.
Yeah, but he ends up going to the land of the elves.
He does.
Has a good band. So there you go. Starting off in the jungle here, you can see blue buff was picked up by Mr. Shing's got that move, mana regeneration. We can see the damage buff being stolen here by Derek. Zatman coming in, hogging first, though. Always one of the biggest mistakes. As name is for Jerby. The dash gets it with the preemptive strike. And now
that's
it's on the ground.
Wow. Well, that's a humongous rotation. And taking a look, Zatman's going to be level 2. Meanwhile, Baka and Allied are going to be able to push this wave just a little bit. Incon's going to soak this up. He's going to continue to push this, make sure they don't get any of this gold. But they're not going to be able to do it in time. They just don't have the wave clear.
Well, nice steal there from the damage buff. We see rotating in the mid lane is going to be weak.
Lassus
from Lassus, but never box a Heavy Hammer Thanatos early unless you've got a bald bearded friend on the backside. He's got the Celestial Beam, but it's pretty slow moving. Lass is still in the jungle kind of hanging out here. Weekend is forced to go back to his side of the jungle across the fence where the grass ends up being not green. It's actually going to be a little bit of an orange.
Yeah, they don't take care of the grass there at all. Nas going to throw down his turret. Jerby now realizing that. Meanwhile, though, in the long lane, We are seeing Dare to Care barely missing that. Yeah, he didn't want to fully commit there on the taunt because he knew it was a little bit out of reach, just going to save a little mana. And Zapman's going to get some uncontested farm under the tower.
They're going for a damage buff on the side of Dignitas. That's going to be taken out here pretty shortly. And back to the mid lane they go. Weekend is there, but keep in mind the damage buff was stolen by Dignitas. They're going to miss out on the gold. Left side, dashing forward is Dare to Care, looking for a taunt, but not going to find anything. Actually forced to dash backwards as Ally was poking his face down with those finger bullets. Dare to Care going to be belly flopped there by Incom, but I imagine they're just going to back off from this one.
Yeah, and I don't think they want to engage on that at all. And in the short lane, it's basically going exactly how you thought it would be. 1 or 2 minions left for Kiki to kind of handle right at the tower because Xing's just going to push up. But I mean, once Kiki starts getting a little bit bigger, you're going to see this wave clear going to be very, very tough. And Xing has to aggress very early here on Kiki if he wants to be ahead.
Kiki is going to just sit in the lane and flame and play safe. He's just going to sit there and
sure.
farm, sit at the tower. He's level 5 now. He's got an ultimate he can assist across the map with. And one of the things about characters like Nuwa, Neith, Shipalonke, you can pop these ultimates that are global, get assists, get gold, get a little bit of experience, and not even leave your lane or even think about going anywhere but sitting at home and just farming. So Kiki's going to kind of sit in that world and hope he can out-farm Xing.
For sure. And Lassus, he knows the Harpies are coming up. He's going to come here. He's going to just go ahead and push his lane. He might think about doing some damage to Jerby. He doesn't really want to, though. And notice the rotation here coming out of Athena as well. So they really want to lock this one down. They're making sure no one gets this. They're going to play this safe, get all that experience from the left Harpies, and now they're going to go ahead and push this wave out.
I don't like that choice from Dignitas. I think that they had good communications for the left side of the map. They knew that Allied and Khan were still in the lane. They knew that they had rotation coming out from Dare to Care. He was going to be there on site, and they had Gnaw. I think Lassus could have gone over to the right side mid-camp and forced it out a little bit, trying to poke it down and steal it away, especially given the fact that he has a way to just kind of blink away. So I think given the fact that they knew where the long lane was and Dare to Care was already in place to take the mid-camp, that they probably could have pressured the right one. But then again, it's only 90 gold, and they may be kind of saving that for a different engagement when they have a chance to get a kill.
Yep. Early lead here for Dignitas, 690 gold difference here, as well as 800 XP differences. So very, very small, but it's still just a little bit of lead already.
I like this timing from Lassus. He knows the movement speed buff is respawning shortly. Is he going to get spotted or not? He sees them in the mid lane.
Or not.
No one sees him, though. Weekend and Jerby are coming through. Going to go over, maybe? Nope. So the movement speed buff has been respawned now, but he's not going to go for it knowing they came out of the mid lane.
Well, he also wants to get the blue right into the hands of Baka. He wants Xing to have this blue buff and just really start being able to push this wave out. Because, surprisingly enough, Baka can get very, very mana hungry.
He can.
You wouldn't think it just because, he is all physical attacks, but, the razor
well, it's how often you
hands,
activate your Butcher Blades and how often you use the minion, and if you jump a lot and try to engage, you really can't drop down there. Up in the air goes Benetos looking for the dunk on Lassus. Is he going to see it in time? If the hammer comes out, there's a stun. Silence going to come out. Lassus gets
Jerby!
Jerby with the searing pain. Ultimate coming out from Nuwa, though.
She needs to help Weekend as well. Weekend really just waiting for a death sight here, and he's just going to go straight into the tower trying to not give the kill. But that was a good play by Athena.
The timer wasn't up, and that's really the best thing you can do. When you know you're dead to rights, jump into a tower and hope that the tower gets credit. Of course, there'll be less gold overall for that enemy team, and it's split in a better way. The problem is that it takes 6-7 seconds before you're no longer tagged as a kill, and so he was just outside of that range, and of course that still counted as a kill for Xing, since Xing had the last source of damage noted onto him when he dove into the tower here. Looking at it's actually 10 seconds. I'm not very bright. We got 10 seconds there is the time it takes before you actually no longer have credit for that kill there. We do have the Devourer's Gauntlet picked up by both hunters here, finally locked in and have that lifesteal pick up. Xing is going to go for a Heavy Hammer into that Hasten Fatalis, and now he has the extra little bit of movement speed.
Yeah, and looking at it, Weekend actually grabbing the tier 1 beads as well. He decided, I really
Allied in trouble,
this.
left side taking damage here, forced to dash away. Man, does that hurt.
And Jerby, though. Jerby, that last rotation was perfect for Jerby. He stood right in the back. He went over no wards in his path, which was a little bit of accidental luck, and he was able to get a nice searing pain. Weekend's going to get taunted here. Jerby's going to be there. Celestial Beam's going to be there. A little bit of heal. Jerby's going to get one on Lassus. Now Weekend's going to be pushing up, and now, Xing, are you going to be in trouble? No, you're not. Where's he
looking
going?
for Rom, looking for Zapman. Wedge. There it is. That side, they come out shortly. There's a Searing Pain up there. He can't make it. Volkel's going to miss here. Turn on the ground. Derby fighting forward, forcing him out. Shing is under the fight, and Data Care was not there to save either of his teammates. Very scattered play from Dignitas and very greedy as well. We see Weekend taking a big chunk out of enemy HPs, and it seems to be working pretty well here. He's still holding the line up against Shing. Shing forced to disengage. The Gold Fury is dropping low, but so is Allied as he's left alone to his own device. Allied forced to leash the Gold Fury possibly. Bach is in the fight. Shing looking for the kill in.
God, no!
The belly flop's there. Now looking for the Gold Fury. There's no Hog 3. This is free and clear. It's going to be leashed away. Up in the air goes Nuwa. Will it kill anyone? No. No one goes down from that one. It's going to be a 2-for-0 exchange in favor of Snipe with no Gold Fury to boot.
And in fact, Dignitas may actually kind of come out on top just a little bit just because they got the Harpies. And they might be able to get the right Harpies too. It's going to go solely to Shing as it stands. So Dignitas, taking a look here, it was just going in favor of Snipe, and then the charts go ahead and flip it back. But this is a very, very even game, despite Snipe being up in kills.
This is something that every jungler makes the mistake of. Boxing Thanatos Heavy Hammer early. It's just, it never works out. It's never beneficial to your life to do it. Because the slow, the burst, the silence, the HP, the lifesteal, and you're just like, yeah, that was
And plus, if they hit you with a scythe right off the rip, it's like, oh, okay, well, I'm screwed. Speaking of scythe there, he's going to miss that one. That would have done a significant amount of health there to
Jeremy
Shing.
just spent about 6.5 seconds of his life attacking the Gold Fury and leashing it. And I'm not sure why, because there was no reaction from Dignitas. They didn't have really major control there. I mean, there's a ward right on top of the Gold Fury, so they know that it was happening. But I don't know. It was an interesting attempt. I don't know. And there's no one dead. They didn't really have any control. They have Hog 3, but so does Dignitas, and Athena can fly across the map.
Okay. All right, Kiki. Kiki going back and buying the Imperial helmet, giving him some magical power and some physical protection.
Life's better with a hat.
Yeah, it's always good to be a soldier with a helmet.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, going to pick up that very
Don't
cheap
want to go in
1900
unprotected.
helm, which gives you, of course, 30 magical power and 30 magical power and 30 physical protection, plus, of course, the flat pen, which helps so much. It's such a cheap item as well. We're going to see the right lane. Kiki is going to defend his lane here, looking at the itemizations. We're going to see the Midas boots are done on the side of Dignitas, but Snipe. We're going to see Incon still struggling to get that Midas boots up here. Derby's going to go for the CDR boots, and looks like he's going directly into the sash here, the Warlock sash, get an extra little bit of HP.
Yeah, it'll be very rare and shocking if he actually went with an East half. But, you know, that's the thing. That's the big difference between Incon. Uh-oh, hold on. We actually are going to be seeing Thanatos take to the sky. Is he going to go for this? Oh, okay. So he just blew his ultimate.
Those minions.
Yeah, so I was a little bit confused on that.
Well, no, it's just the fact that there was, and it's a brilliant placement from Dignitas. They put a ward inside the Fire Giant, which means that that's where all globals take place. If you're playing Thanatos, if you're playing Thor, you go inside the Fire Giant or Gold Fury camp, you go up in the air. So he put a ward on the ground. Beautiful play by Shing. Put it on the ground so that when he saw Thanatos go into the Fire Jet, he knew it was happening. Oh, popping the ultimate, looking for Kiki, biting through. Kiki's got the sprint, and that sprint will save the day. Very early pick up for him. And one thing to keep in mind as well is that you're going to see Zapman pick up an Aegis. He's going to prevent a couple things, Nuwa ultimate, and of course the Execute from Thanatos are the two notable ones.
And there's going to be a full-blown rotation here. Jerby's going to be right there with Weekend. And he really just wants this blue buff, and they're pulling all the way here, and Dignitas is going to answer this. There's going to be a 4-man grouping here over on the Gold Fury side of things. If this is a full-blown fight, this will result in a Gold Fury for sure. But it looks like no team wants to engage on this.
Well, it means it's pretty stable right now. Nuwa does have an ultimate available, so if she wants to go down that road, she certainly can. Shing's going to be clearing out this wave. Actually, Kiki ended up going for an Aegis Amulet as well. It's going to buy a lot of time. Baka doesn't really have kill potential here unless Kiki makes a grave mistake. Get Aegis to buy time for the CC immunity and can pop the stun, of course, pop the sprint and disengage entirely. 2 wards inside of the Fire Giant buff. For both teams, actually, just covering any globals. And you think about it, right? If Thor goes into the Fire Giant buff to ult, they're going to spot it. And if Thanatos goes into the Fire Giant buff to ult, they're going to spot it. So they have complete cover.
It's a brilliant place. Athena still just, I mean, the ward coverage alone coming out of Snipe around the Gold Fury is just bonkers. You're seeing 3-4 wards in just that vicinity alone. So they are really wanting to push it. I mean, that's a lot of gold just sitting right on Gold Fury.
Very much
they really want to react.
Looking for Kiki right side. Bolt Baka will come out. There's a good hammer. There's a good wall. There's a good Berserker Barrage. Up there she goes. They're not going to stick around to get the kill.
No. They want no piece of that pie, bro.
The baby Bakas were holding it.
Thanatos, surprise!
Going to miss there, looking for the damage on top. Blastus dropping away. The hammer almost hitting. Berserker Barrage is not available. He can't.
Oh my God. That's big. And Athena's going to come in, and there's going to be no follow-up there. Athena is able to take out Weekend. That's good. Good job. Good for you. And now, look at this. They see 3 people in solo lane. Okay, let's go ahead and grab Gold Fury. That's exactly what this is. Zatman is here to contest. So is Vulcan. Snipe has destroyed the Gold Fury. That's a big play.
Incon belly left away from the big ultimate from Vulcan. Talk coming out. The Gold Fury is going to go down. It's going to go the way of Snipe.
Dead.
Of course, good kill on Allied on the back end of that fight. Of course, Incon was able to belly flop out of the very strong Earthshaker coming down from above. Derby coming through here, but this is the same thing we saw last game. Very hyper-aggressive plays in solo lane do not benefit your team at all. Diving the solo laner does not seem to come to fruition and make things benefit you in any way. I mean, you saw him jump on top. You couldn't get the kill on Kiki. Then you try to get the kill on Weekend. You can't find that either. And I don't know why, last with full HP, when the baby Bakas were taking the tower, he wouldn't just sit at the feet of Nuwa, kill her off, and disengage.
Tough. Incon actually getting the shovel online as well, so that's big. And Kiki going to go ahead and finish the Dynasty Plate Helm. He's going to be very, very hard for Baka to deal with. And you're going to notice Kiki's going to get a lot more aggressive here in lane. She's going to be a little bit more at home in her own skin now in this lane.
She's got that physical protection. She's got that power and that penetration as well, plus CDR, which helps so desperately much. The damage buff is going to be picked up here for Nah in his benefit. I mean, look at the gold right now. Even with the Gold Fury, Dignitas is still ahead. I mean,
notice that.
It's still got the experience as well. The experience has never really gone in the favor of Snipe for any major period of time. It's all been in Dignitas' favor. And, of course, the gold is slightly in favor of Dignitas as well, which means with that 1,500 gold loss, they're just out-farming them across the map.
Well, they were able to get that Tier 1 tower, too, in the mid.
Which means it's just a 1,000 gold lead for Snipe.
Yep. So, Snipe, they have to respond here. But taking a look, I mean, Nah going with the Bancrofts. Shing's going to miss that, and he's going to get silenced. Are they going to go on Shing? I don't think so. They're just going to kind of disconnect here as now Thor is getting ready for this. This is going to put Jerby in a very, very bad spot. He is all by himself. Here comes a rotation coming out of him. Are they all going to go in on Shing? And they are. Weekend's going to jump up. Shing's going to try to live here. Kiki's going to miss a bunch.
Oh, my God. The heal needs the damage.
Is this real? Okay, thank you.
New ultimate. Jerby on a killing spree.
Oh, the taunt!
There's the ultimate coming out of Vulcan. Lassus coming out as well. Looking for Weekend. Weekend is so weak right now. Taking a double kill for Lassus. And now Kiki's on her way out through the left side, but can he actually disengage here? Up the top, Dedicare.
He might get taunted.
But he's got nowhere to go here and no follow-up. I don't think that Dedicare can really do anything without the help of Nah. Through the fog he goes, but definitely an interesting play right there. I mean, they dove so hard, but, in the end, does it really matter?
Yeah, I have no idea why they went for that dive. They were just so hell-bound. I mean, they lost it in the middle lane, and it was just like, what can you do?
Well, I think they just kind of discounted how fast Dignitas could rotate there. I think they saw that the fact that mid-camps were being taken by Dig, and they had about half a map to go before they could just burst down Shing. I think it also came down to the fact that they really missed their opportunity to take Shing down, and if Kiki was going to ult to secure the kill, he should have done it sooner.
It was almost like Jerby was just like, oh, well, I'm not getting mid-harpies. I'm going to go and kill Shing.
Well, he knew that they were grouping for mid, so he had about plus or minus 8 or 9 seconds before they could even rotate.
By the way.
It was a smart call there. Then take the blue buff on the left side. The Gold Fury will be up in just about 2 minutes or so, so look for that to come back pretty shortly here, and we'll see if they can get that one locked in. Dignitas and Sniper tied right now, 5-5, 14 minutes and 50 seconds on the clock. We can see one tower down, one Gold Fury in the name of Snipe so far, and things are looking sharp.
And Sovereignty now online for Dare to Care, which is going to be big. On the other side, Incon only has, he's got a long way to go before that's going to be there. Luckily for him, though, he does have Shell, so he is going to be able to give his team some natural protections. But it's not going to be as consistent as meanwhile. It looks like we are seeing that Allied going to be in a world of trouble here. He's going to be able to get out. Incon's going to be there for the support. Jerby, is he going to go for a lined up here? No, he realizes that he got spotted on that war and he's just going to rotate out. But look at this. Dignitas controlling the middle of the map. They're going uncontested. Nas able to push his wave so effectively with these turrets.
Yeah, I mean, he could sit back and farm, backfire one of the best abilities for lane clear in the game. Jerby going to avoid the hammer and stun there coming out from Thor, so he's going to bring it together. We're going to see solo lane pushed up pretty effectively here, but look at the damage overall. You can see that Nah is topping the second place for his team. 5,900 damage dealt for Zatman, and Nah is at 5,200. And look across the way, not as much, but do see a lot of AoE damage there from Kiki on Nuwa. Makes a big play there, but honestly, this all came down to the first blood that really changed the game. That snipe from Ra over the wall.
Yeah, they did a great job at this too. I mean, Jerby rotated over perfectly, and he walked over
stun, Ra snipe.
And it's just perfect routine play. But unfortunately for them now, they're in a spot where, taking a look, they're down 1,500 gold, and they're down 5,000 experience.
That's heavy.
So the experience part is really, really the key. So what's scary for Snipe right now going in, and when we come out of this pause, is the fact that they have to answer Vulcan, in the mid lane with Lassus running around with Thor, and they have no tier 1 tower. Very rarely do we ever see the tier 1 tower in the mid go down first.
Well, I mean, it opens the whole map, right? It just makes it so it's easy for them to kind of go back and forth, because that mid tower is kind of the pillar that holds it all together. So, when you're looking at the gold farm that comes out of this, you have to really look at the hunter role and see how that lane kind of controls. I mean, Zapman as well as Allied kind of keeping their farm up. But now Zapman is currently sitting at 7,700. He's 700 gold ahead of Allied, and that's reflected here in the GPM. On average, Zapman gets 472 GPM per game. Allied at 469. A little bit more kills, a little bit more assists, and a little bit more wins. So they're pretty even. I mean, this is one of the most even matches we've seen so far.
Well, Zapman's kind of like everyone kind of knows Zapman as the hunter in North America, even though, Barracuda is there and Snoopy's there, but, he's on Dignitas, man. That's how it works. So it's not surprising that he has 3 KDA, but I'm very, very scared for myself in this scenario, since we have our own little personal gripes here, but Snipe, they have to figure out how they're going to.
It's looking good for Dig right now.
It's looking really good.
And the 1,500 gold is not really a huge steal, right? I mean, we split that together, 300 gold per person. It's really just like a tier 1 of an active. It's not going to make a big difference as far as the team fight, head to head goes. The problem with it is they're sitting currently 5,000 experience behind. Experience makes a bigger difference early on in gold, just because you'll have more levels in your ultimate, more levels in your abilities, allows you to have shorter cooldowns, higher base damages, and more durations of stuns and slows, and it makes a huge impact on how the team fights go.
Yeah, and Jerby actually sitting with 1,400 gold in hand, so he's probably going to go back anytime now and get this Warlock Sash online, since he needs to farm that up as soon as possible. And Dignitas actually just doing everything right. It's very rare to see everything go according to plan in a game. They lost to Gold Fury, and they're still up in the game.
Well, Hog 3 is completed there for both supports. Those of you who don't know, of course, that means that Hog 3, you can now execute Gold Fury and Fire Giant at 25% HP or lower. So if you hit that Wrath of the Gods, or Hog 3 as it's commonly referred to, you will be able to kill off the Fire Giant or Gold Fury right when it hits 25% HP. So that's why supports pick it up early, because it's really just for that Gold Fury tap. Now, so far, there's been 1 Gold Fury done, and that will give gold to Snipe. It's 1,500 gold total, which is 300 gold per person. It allows Snipe to kind of keep in the game, but again, they are 1,500 gold behind, which means without that Gold Fury, they'd be 3,000 gold behind. Warlock Sash finished off on Jerby for HP, damage on Incon in the mid lane.
And I love when Lassus plays.
Pew! Pew!
Pew! Yeah, New One's just doing a little bit of damage. Zapman's going to get the follow-up, though. In comes Apollo. Apollo, Allied's got some damage. Down goes Gnaw. And look at Lassus. You can't peel him off of you. Jerby's going to be caught in the middle of no man's land. And if he gets out of this, I'm going to be very, very surprised, because he should be dead any second now. The clock just ticking against him. There goes that Deicide.
And solo kill on the right side for Shing, taking out
Deicide.
Deicide. It was a 1 for 5 exchange. The Gold Fury is actually going to be taken here by Dignitas 10-6. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very significant lead here for Dignitas. Mostly going to get the right side tower, which is going to make it a 2,000 gold swing, plus any jungle buffs and camps, and the fact that no one on Snipe is getting golden experience right now other than the base gold gain rate.
Lassus is going to have Shifter Shield online soon, and looking over to the other side, I mean, his build is just going to be so effective. You compare that to Weekend. Weekend has Jotuns, right? And that's about what he's got to work with right now. And that's the big thing, right? Like, Thanatos is all damage, all early game, and he's 2-4 right now. It is officially at the time where we see Thor just start to devour souls.
Well, that's what he does. I mean, he's got the extra penetration, and it makes such a big difference, right? When you look at Scent of Death for Thanatos, it's going to give you a pretty big gain of 35 physical penetration at max rank. Right now, it's probably at rank, it's probably just rank 1, so 15 physical penetration, plus the boots is making it a flat 30, which makes a big difference early on, and really is a big separation between him and that, that Ninja Tabi. But you look across the way, right, Lassus has the same thing. He's going into the Shifter Shield, which means that he's pretty balanced in his protections and damage output.
Yeah, and I actually just noticed this. Allied actually going with Sprint 3 and a Beads 1.
Yes.
Whereas Zapman just went with an Aegis, and that's how he's able to have Executioner online. So now Allied is up full item behind Zapman.
Well, you look at the gold, right? Zapman's at 9,800. We see Allied at 8,300. So it's about 1,500 gold deficit between the two hunters. And that's, it's kind of what Allied struggles with is finding time to farm and keep up. Now, granted, there's been a gold fury and a tower in favor of Zapman, a free 400 gold. Plus, given the fact that, when you're able to control the left side of the map, the hunter is obviously going to suffer a lot in gold numbers. So Allied's really going to start to pick up the gold farm here and try and keep up because he's currently sitting at the...
Here's the boxing match.
The second least in the game.
Well, and, the thing that's so unfair about that is that even if oh god, look at those ash arrows.
Oh, right side of the fight coming down, looking for Jerby. There goes the weakening curse to slow them on down. Of course, will prevent all healing by 100%. Kiki or not ultimate coming through there. Data Care is being blocked by Incontinentia. There's the meatball
Lassus!
on the ground. Damage on Weaken. Weaken going away here.
Oh wow, Lassus, no! Well, there goes Na getting a kill there. Lass is managing to stay alive for just a little bit. Kiki's going to go down. The meatball's going to knock up a bunch of people. Na getting all up in there. Lass is still alive, waiting to come in. Incon's going to be there trying to belch at everyone. Jerby, can you have the damage? No, you don't. Na's going to do it. This is not looking good. Another perfect meatball there from Na, and that is going to be a double kill. They got 3 kills there with a Thanatos now and an Apollo who's actually currently getting destroyed in his lane. This is Dignitas' game to lose. Shifter Shield online. Bancroft's already finished. Another Executioner for Shing. This is going to get ugly.
Well, let's break this down a little bit. Let's look at the build here for Snipe. And they have, realistically, it's kind of like if you were to graph the damage output for Snipe, it would be a big blip. It's kind of like a heartbeat. It'd be a big blip and then a flat line. And then a big blip and a flat line. You look at Death Scythe comes out, then the new burst of the clay soldiers into the explosion.
This is going to be a fire giant.
It's all just burst. And so if you can avoid that with an Aegis like Lassus has been, it makes it difficult. Here's the fire giant attempt coming out. Weekend's coming in, but he's got nothing really to contribute to the fight. He's actually up in the air now, and he'll be coming down shortly, and on the ground he goes. And that's going to be the end of that. So fire giant for free here. And it also comes down to the fact that Snipe didn't recover fast enough to defend that fire giant.
Yeah, they really, really did it. And Dignitas, they're going to clear through the jungle. Are they going to keep the pedal to the floor here, or are they going to head back? Rom going back. Yeah, everyone's going to go back, go ahead and buy. And now we're finally starting to see this last second push from Snipe where it's like, okay, yeah, I'm going to split push, guys. I'm going to be able to get this. But
they'll be able to get it.
They're going to get this one tower, but I mean...
That's something.
What
it also
that
opens up that left side of
of
the map,
things?
especially around Gold Fury. When they have that tier 1 tower left side next to Gold Fury, it means that they don't really have the space control because they can easily just run back to left lane. They don't have to go to tier 2. They can have that little dead zone between tier 1 and tier 2 to be safe with. So taking that down, I mean, it's something. He's got 500 gold for his team. It's going to bring down the lead just ever so slightly, kind of balance it out a bit. But again, 7,500 gold, 14,000 experience in favor of Dignitas right now. Top gold, top kills, and top damage on the side of Dignitas going to Rom, played by Zapman, just taking the charts right now. And it's also tough to see that Nuwa is taking the top damage for Snipe, given the fact that a lot of that it just comes from the fire shards.
Grouping here, coming in the top right side of things. They're going to go for the blue buff here. Snipe can't have any control of their jungle. Lassus getting super aggressive there on an Incon, a.k.a. a Bacchus. A little bit curious there, but it doesn't matter for him as he is going to be just right behind Derek. He's just waiting for a taunt, and he is going to come in and do so much damage with that shifter
left side,
shield.
Zapman going up in the air to avoid the weakened ultimate coming through here. Going to get actually Allied the dunk and Aegis immediately to avoid it. Now trying to box through this. Can he actually get the fight? Oh, Dare to Care coming down. He's daring to care about
What's
this
up?
fight. There goes the down on top and big Chris and Zapman double kill. That was flawlessly played. And then also opens up the right side of the map to be pushed in. Kiki or Na is trying to say nah to this, Phoenix attempt, but that's going to be a lot of damage.
Oh, Regurgitate just forcing Kiki to take to the
dropping
skies.
low. Left side, big crits, big damage, big death. Incon going to jump away, but he's got nowhere to run. This tower's going to drop down here. It's going to be another pickup, and Dignitas is just pushing it on all fronts and winning all fronts at once. Snipe is on tilt.
This is the Dignitas you love to see. This is the Dignitas everyone expects to see. Right Phoenix is going to go down. Meanwhile, left Phoenix is going to be super pressured. Zapman's going to be able to be there. Oh my god, a brilliant taunt! And now Kiki's going to be able to get taken out as well. As soon as the Aegis gives up, that's going to be a double kill for Zapman. The teamwork right now is flawless. Athena playing flawlessly. Dare to Care, amazing taunts throughout this final push, and that is going to do it for the game.
And just going up there, going to make a final push. Can he land down? Nope, he is still airborne at this point, and he'll be forever airborne as the Titan falls down and the life falls down from him, as that will be the conclusion of the match. Dignitas 18-6, the fastest match we've had today at 23.5 minutes. Definitely a very strong showing. Snipe fell apart in so many ways there, and I think really the biggest thing about them is that they didn't have a mobile team. The only person that can react quickly is going to be that Apollo. Thantos needs a little bit of build-up time, and of course Ra and New Wa really don't have much mobility to their name as far as like being able to react quickly, right? I mean, Ra, he has the speed of light, he can move fast, but he doesn't really have the fact that my team needs me now, I can get there now.
Yeah, Thanatos takes another loss in the jungle, bringing him down to under 20%. He's probably floating around like a 17.5, but taking a look at the player damage here, Zapman 18,000, but can you really put a price on the initiations from Thor? He only did 8,000 player damage, but he's shredding all the protections.
Well, you can't take away from any of the damage that was dealt there from Gnaw. And Gnaw really had one of the hardest entrances into the SPL. He was very widely regarded as one of the worst players. He was very, highly judged as far as the, competitive scene goes, as well as the fan base and the viewers. And now he's hitting it home. He's 3-1-6 in this match, hitting a huge amount of damage. But watch this triple kill here. He sets up, does a lot of damage to Incon and force him out. He leaves the turret to kind of put the zone control there. Ultimate coming out. It's going to instantly kill. There goes the kick. Kiki is gone now. But watch how he just puts the turret right here and sits back. He's very cautious. He's very careful. Backfire. And then watch what happens. Derby goes into the buff camp. It's going to be a turret into a backfire, and he just auto-attacks him down. 1, 2, dead. Very confident, very controlled. Here's the meatball into Incon. He'll die to the Berserker Barrage there from Elastis. And there goes the triple kill for Na Incon going down.
That was
and
good
a lot
place.
of control, and he's very careful, very cautious. And going into this, Vulcan was one of his best characters.
Yeah, and Jerby only doing 2,600 healing for his team, which is very unusual for a Raw. Even though, it was only a 23-minute game, normally we see it's a little bit higher than that, just because, you could throw it right down at your team's feet. But I believe we do have the updated standings here after that win. That's a huge win for Dignitas, which actually might propel them into second place, and it does.
Kind of Red is currently sitting 11-2. Dignitas is now up 9-4, and given the fact that they beat Snipe, it's going to shoot Snipe 2 games away from Dignitas here at 8-6. Cognitive Prime is going to be sitting here at 8-6 themselves. So Cog Prime and Snipe are tied. Fat Chunks and Thurst, they're struggling down at the bottom. We have 1-10 there on Thurst across the way. It's pretty evenly spread across the first three there. 9-4, 9-5, 8-5 for the first three for EU. 6-7 for Cloud9, struggling to keep up there. But I mean, the first three slots are so neck and neck.
Yeah, well, look at even the bottom, dude. Like I said, Agilitas coming in the European Challenger Cup is going to be a force to be reckoned with as well. But Team Coast or Nip at SK, they're both kind of have Cloud9 in their sights as well. So this EU, I'd keep your eye on EU. I think NA, it's kind of safe to chalk up like Cog Red, unless something like deathly happens to them. Like, I think they're going to be fine. But really, you want to look at who finishes in that fourth spot, because that's going to be the tough one.
Well, that's right. For those of you who don't know, we're on our path to the Smite World Championship. We have 2 more weeks of competition. Week 6 and Week 7 are remaining left for the SPL. The top 4 teams will be locked in for their regional championships. And, of course, if you guys are looking to go to the regional championships, the tickets are on sale now. Head over to smitegame.com, and you'll see a post there giving all the information you need to buy those tickets. I recommend it. Those will be taking place the 15th and 16th of November for EU, 22nd and 23rd of November for NA, and you want to be there. The top 4 teams will be granted to go there immediately. The bottom 2 in the SPL will be knocked down into the wild cards to face the top 2 of the Challengers Cup to see if they can actually get that victory. And, of course, the top 2 from there will go to the regionals, and that is going to be a huge brawler fest.
Yeah, it's over $900,000 right now, and we have a couple more months to go. We might see it get a little bit past $1 million.
Might.
We will. Oh, confident. Well, what's your guesstimate? What's your figure? Let's get you on record here, Princess.
$1,203,671.
God, you're the worst kind of person to get that specific.
It's great, and it's gonna be that.
Okay.
It's gonna be that. That's going to be it for us, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And, of course, that will be concluded. If you're looking for more Smite Pro League action, will be taking place this Wednesday, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. CEST, starting up right here on twitch.tv/Smite Game. If you're looking for more information about Smite, stay tuned to this channel. This is a 24-hour channel, as well as the fact that we have a new patch coming up this week.
Oh, yeah.
Look for the patch release at the early parts of this week, planned for about Tuesday, Wednesday, depending on how things go. We also have some new implementations coming, so thank you so much for tuning in today. We'll see you when we see you.